Hey you guys, we are checking in from Tokyo, Japan. I've been here for the past 10 days, really 2 more days, and I'm going home. Just in case you guys think that your audio got issue, no, it's not your problem, it's my problem because a donkey like myself forgot to bring the most important device when you want to record a video, and that's a mic. What the fuck? Maybe it was like a bit too rushed that day. I totally forgot about it, and being in the busy city like Japan, if you don't bring a mic, there's absolutely no chance of us doing any video outside. Thankfully, right now, there's a communal lounge that we have in the hotel. It's quite quiet, there's nobody here. I have it all to myself, you can see. It's a very quiet corner. I've been traveling for the past 10 days with 2 kids. Parents, you guys will know that when you bring kids along, it can be very, very tiring. But when you have kids like my kids, who every single minute want to try to kill each other, then you know it's 3-4 times more tiring now. So for parents out there, you will know what I'm trying to say now. But thankfully, I'm still alive. So what has happened in the past like 10 days? Now I arrived on the 29th of May. 30th of May was meant to be one of these big nights. So for those of you guys who know me very well, knows that I absolutely don't drink at all. But that night, I knew I needed to hit back at least like 2 cans of beer to keep myself awake and focused, because that was meant to be a historic night as far as football is concerned. Arsenal was supposed, or rather trying to win their first ever UEFA Champions League. Unfortunately, it went all the way to the wire, 1-1 extra time. Penalty shootout, 50-50, we lost it. Yeah, I mean, that's life lah. You win some, you lose some. But who knows? Last year, they were in semi-finals. This year, they're in the finals. Maybe next year, we'll get it. So, come on, you Gunners. We will get it next year. Alright, we'll get it next year. So, okay, so all that aside, so why are we here today? Very simple. I still feel that even though I'm very tired, I want to do this video because there's 2 things I want to talk about today. Number 1 is we're going to have massive updates on Thomson Reserve. Stay tuned to it. And number 2, I also will be going through the second half of 2026 government land sales, and we'll evaluate every single plot of land and probably give like some simple score rating and the expected price that is going to be bidded for. Okay, so let's have some fun. Okay, so Thomson Reserve and second half of government land sales 2026. Let's go. Disclaimer, whatever I share does not constitute financial advice. It is solely based on my opinion on what is right or wrong. So please do your own due diligence. If you're liking the content so far, please hit the like and subscribe button, as your simple gesture will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. If you are interested to find out more about property related matters, please find all the social media handles I am on, or you can just directly reach out to me on WhatsApp. Separately, I have also set up a Telegram group at the start of the year so that we can have a discussion that we as agents are not allowed to do so online, which is to talk shit. So if you are interested to get into a community that talks about everything under the sun about property, please scan the QR code, or for the boomers out there, I have pasted the link in my description. We're going to close the group invitation in probably a month or 2 times. So head over and I will see you there. Now back to the video. Okay, so this video, I try to aim to keep it short and sweet as much as I can. I realize I always plan to keep it short, but somehow or rather when I do a free flow one, it hits like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but I promise, like I said, it's a very tiring week in Japan. I try to keep it as short as possible. Okay, so number 1, let's talk about Thomson Reserve. And 2 things about Thomson Reserve that I want to update you guys. Number 1 is the launch will likely happen in October. It's almost 90% certain. The show flat is already being built in the Upper Serangoon Crescent area, where I can remember there's a couple of new launch there. The show flat was there last time, but it's been a while since we have gone there. The show flat is there. The launch is going to happen in October. So why is this a very, very important update? FYI, let me just drink some water. By the way, I deviate a bit. So on the 31st, it was my first time experiencing a potential typhoon. Being in the front of the well like myself, who don't travel as often as most other people, we weren't quite sure of what to expect. But thankfully, the typhoon just passed by us. what's the experience like? I think it's priceless. The night before, we were like preparing ourselves, not too sure what to really expect. We asked the staff there, they also don't know what the hell is going to happen. But when it hit, it was just like a rain no heavier than those heavy thunderstorms in Singapore. It was a bit colder, wind was a bit stronger, but it was okay lor. I think because we were in Osaka, so it wasn't that close to typhoon. Thankfully, it wasn't that bad, but it was quite an experience. Okay, anyway, going back to Thomson Reserve, it's as mentioned, going to launch in October. Why is it important? Because for those of you guys who have been waiting on the sideline for the longest time, congratulations, you only have about 3 to 4 months more to wait. And for those of you guys who are planning to sell your house according to the launch of Thomson View itself, you probably will have the next 3-4 months to sell a property lah. So it's almost there. Don't take too long a time. Now you have the first person that just walked past us. So for those of you guys who are planning to sell your house, please start selling now, because selling takes a bit of time. If you want to sell now, probably somewhere around August or September, just nice. When the buyer has exercised, you're ready to go for Thomson Reserve. Don't wait anymore, because I believe Thomson Reserve likely will be as crazy, or if not crazier, than Emerald and Katong. Yes, I've said it right. EOK at that time has like multiple purchase of like close to 100 groups. I think Thomson Reserve potentially will match that or even more, but it should share the same level of hype as EOK. So you have 2 to 3 months to prep yourself lah. And then the second part of Thomson Reserve update is when they release the potential launch, which is going to happen in October. They also release one like ebook, and that particular ebook shows the site plan. For those of you guys who have already quite some bit of vested interest in the project itself, your agent will have already sent it to you. But if you don't have it, then this is my cue for my editor to insert the site plan. Okay, so a quick look at the site plan. Of course, we really know the location attributes, you know everything about Thomson Reserve already. I shared in one of our previous videos, Walk With Me at Thomson View. If you haven't seen it, you can always check it out. But yeah, I've mentioned everything about Thomson Reserve. I'm still planning to do plenty of videos about it, but right now we have one of the most important information that we require to understand what's likely going to come up for Thomson Reserve, and that's the site plan. So for the site plan, as you can see, we expected 2 entrances, one from the Xingming Avenue. The main entrance should be on Bright Hill Drive. There's 4 blocks there, so I guess the loudest facing should be this particular block here. This one really, Thomson Reserve, I thought every single unit will have at least some nice view, but this one maybe you can say the landed facing is the best. But other than that, the pool facing is not that bad, but because the premium facing here is facing towards the southern side, which is the landed properties and the reservoir direction if you're on a higher floor. But in total, you have 6 blocks. Again, I'm not sure whether this is official, but if my company site there to sell an ebook, I assume it's official already lah. So there's plenty of pools here. Of course, I'm not too sure where all the facilities are. This is just a very vague site plan. On the top, where it's closer to the second exit, very likely, I believe that's going to be the residence entrance only. There's at least a tennis court there, and just, of course, another pool. But notice this one thing, there is a lot of pool, but there is no lap pool. So for those of you who likes to do your proper swimming like myself, yeah, it's not a bit like, yeah, question mark lah. Because if you do proper laps here, there's no way you're going to complete your laps uninterrupted lah. So this is a bit like those kind of like lazy pool, chill pool, those kind of like Park Clementi's one, but you should have 1 lap pool lah. So I guess the site plan is more or less what we have come to expect. The only thing also I'm also equally as curious as this block closest to the second exit is actually east-west facing. Interesting, because actually you don't need to do east-west facing, you tilt it towards north-south also okay, but I'm not too sure why they do east-west. I know the west facing is quite nice, because the west facing is the premium facing for those who are living in Thomson Grand, which is the lower Pierce Reservoir. But yeah, they could have done north-south facing, but it's east-west facing. Wow, this one will have quite a fair bit of objection. I mean, it still sell out, but in the future, it should have been north-south facing, because your south-facing also facing Macritchie also very nice, man. But all in all, the site plan is what we come to expect. It looks like a piece of bacon here on this site plan, but I believe whatever we need, you have it here. Which one is the premium block? I'm not too sure. I believe this one here and this one here and this one here should be the premium block, but because all the views are more or less premium facing unblocked, so yeah, like I said, I'm guessing these two. So yeah, there you have it. We have the two updates of Thomson Reserve. Number one is the launch date is going to be October, and number two, we have our first look into the site plan itself. Again, for those of you guys who have seen it, here it is. And you know, I have been hyping Thomson Reserve for the longest time. I think all the way stretching back to end 2024. I thought it would launch in 2025. For those of you guys who are already planning to get into groove as far as Thomson Reserve is concerned, you want to get a unit there, of course, please reach out to me. I'm very passionate about this development because I feel in my 16 years of career, I've never seen a development that checks all boxes as far as Thomson Reserve is concerned. This is like, wow, I cannot find anything. Nothing competes with this. Even EOK, if they both launch at the same time, this one will trash EOK and I'm. So again, for those of you guys who are planning to visit it, of course, Shubla is not ready. You can always reach out to me. We can always plan it out, and then let's see how it goes. Okay, so that's for Thomson Reserve. Okay, so we are on to the second part of this video, and that is our government land sales for second half of 2026. Now, FYI, disclaimer, all these lands that is being put up for sale likely will be new launch only in 2028, very likely from there onwards, because although the land is launched in the second half of 2026, it takes a while for the bids to come in, and then usually plus one more year. So like I said, safely the launch will happen only in 2028. Okay, so let's go through this. This is some fun time. Right, so total there are 9 plots of land. I will go through every single one. I'll give my honest opinion about it. I'll give my comments about it. I'll give my ratings about it, and I also will talk about my guess or guesstimation of what the land cost will be. Okay, so number one plot of land is Marina Gardens Lane. Well, actually, my editor don't need to insert music. I got quite a nice background music already. So sorry about that. Again, guys, if you are struggling to hear my voice, I apologize. I didn't bring my mic, but we try to make do with whatever we can. Or when there's a will, there's a way. Let's figure it out. So first lot is Marina Gardens Lane, and that is the plot just beside OMG. Land size is much smaller, 64,000 square feet there. About total 390 units. You have this very small commercial space of only 150 square meters. That's only like 1,500 square feet. One mama shop only. So it's like it's launching in August 2026. This one I only give it a rating of, let's say, 6 out of 10. I know location is fantastic, but the biggest challenge here is the exit. I said this many times really. I'm still not sure. This is not exactly like District 1, District 2 properties, but it's not far away from that. But actually, in my previous video where I was walking through the first half of 2026 new launch, or rather land GLS, I was hoping there will be some activities for the Marina Gardens area, and thankfully we have our first one, or rather a second one. Why am I excited to see this happening is because I want to understand what are developers' appetite for this neighborhood itself, because OMG is the first plot of land, and for the longest time people always say first mover advantage, first mover advantage. Let's take a look at second mover. Okay, maybe the second mover become first mover. So of course, first mover advantage, the ideal scenario is the pricing is good. It's all about pricing now, because you can be the last mover advantage but you have the best price, then I call it the first mover. So let's see, right? But this plot of land, I'm only excited because I want to understand whether developers are bullish or not, because previously there was another white site. Was it a white site or not? Maybe it's a mix, I can't remember. That one was bidden by Guoco Land at only 982 PSF PPR, which was rejected by the government. This one is under reserve list. I'll show you guys later on. So I'm really not sure what's the bid going to be here, but I think safely it should be about 1,300 to 1,400 PSF PPR. Will Kingsford go for it again? I don't know. But if it sells at 1,500, 1,600 PSF PPR, I'm pretty damn sure a lot of people will say, look, the adjacent plot, which is this plot of land, is going to sell 20%, 30% higher, then you already have the paper gain, blah blah blah. This is a hard one to call. Huh? So ratings, this is to me a 6 out of 10. As for expected PSF PPR, I think it will be 1,300, 1,400. I won't be surprised if it will be 1,400, 1,500. I'll be absolutely shocked if it hits 1,600 and above. Okay, and yeah, oh yeah, don't forget this one is the people are pushing it to say, you know, OCR Vela Bay selling at this price, you can buy ours at this price, so and so forth. But yeah, the usual script, huh? So moving on to the second plot of land, which is plot number 2, which is the Orchard Boulevard. This is a very small plot of 36,000 square feet. I didn't even know that this plot of land exists. I thought it's just like one road corner only along Orchard Boulevard, but wow, really every small bits or parts of Singapore that can be built for houses is being built. Anyway, this is along Orchard Boulevard, one of the most expensive address in Singapore. The recent launch in Upper House did very well, so I won't be surprised if it gives developers quite a fair bit of confidence in this neighborhood itself. But the only problem here is this is a very small size development. So the developers buying this plot of land, it's either they build your usual mass market, a kind of like a setup, 700-800 square feet, the kind of small ones, which I believe will not sell well. I think that if you do, potentially, if the developers dare to risk it, if they do large floor plates there, it might perform even better, because a 36,000 square feet, you can't really make it too mass market. So if they build large floor plates, it's scarcity based on location and convenience. I think it might just bode well with the target audience. You cannot build too mass market lah. So this plot of land, because of the land size, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10, unfortunately. For the PSF PPR, given that Upper House got theirs at 1,600 PSF, and that was already a couple of years ago, and Newton already like 1,800 PSF PPR, I expect this to be somewhere closer to 1,800 PSF PPR. Let's see. But all in all, yes, land size here is a bit too small. Okay, plot number 3, also another small land size. This is like 59,000 square feet approximately. A lot of people in my East Coast area all send me SMS.
Hey bro, where is this? Where is this?
I bet you didn't know, but this is the one opposite Siglap Center. It's the old HDB. Across the street is where all the eateries are. It's like literally flanked by all the amenities except MRT, right? So unfortunately, this is not very close to the MRT, but as I mentioned, flanked by all the amenities, coffee shop lah, nightlife lah, food lah, NTUC opposite my favorite corner coffee shop, which is the Soy Yu Tua, which is the Jordan Tokong. You have the mee pok there, and then you have I feel my number 1 nasi padang. So auntie, if you watch my videos, Summer Rider, shout out to you. You guys have one of the best nasi padang there. And then you have the cleaning corner there. So that's where it is lah. So it's technically across, but unfortunately, as I mentioned, it's not near any MRT at all. Quite some walk away, but I still expect the demand here to be very strong. Why? Because not only it's surrounded by all the amenities, it's also close to one of the, or rather the second most expensive enclave outside of the Mountbatten area, which is the Frankel Sea Club and the whole entire stretch of landed properties there. So the people there will probably see a lot of kids buying a property here to be close to their parents, or parents buying for the kids, so on and so forth. I think the minimum size I heard here is about 1,000 square feet, which is very interesting. So I think even though the land size here is small, scarcity, I think the demand should be quite strong. So for this plot, I will give it maybe a 6.57 out of 10. If this is 150,000 square feet, perfect. But yeah, it's only 60,000 square feet, so that's the one floor. Expected PSF PPR, I think this cannot match up with Vela Bay, because Vela Bay spot there is close to the MRT. So I think this one safely, I should give it maybe a 1,300 PSF PPR. Fair? I think fair lah. Okay, next up, number 4 is the D'Souza Avenue. D'Souza Avenue is a big plot of land, 240,000 square feet. Now, I don't have much to say about neighborhood. Personally, I don't really like the area so much. I believe it's not exactly Bukit Timah. Bukit Timah is more like Hillview, but you can't exactly say it's Hillview. It's not within the school zone. But the silver lining here is a big plot of land surrounded by Verdale. And the sand is really not doing very well. The land plot was like 800 odd PSF PPR, but it launched quite high. So for this plot of land, like I said, I don't want to talk much. For timing issue, I want to wrap it up faster today, so that my editor also don't need to stress so much also. I expect this one to be in the range of, you cannot say 800-900 PSF PPR. I think that's too cheap. I think this will be possibly about 1,000 to 1,100 PSF PPR. And then agents or people out there will start to push the sand and say that, you know, this plot of land selling 20-30% higher, you should buy this, you know. The usual story. Again, anyway, I'm not interested in this. So this, like, to me, is like 5.5, 6 out of 10. Anyway, sidetrack a bit. I love this Haichu. You know, I'm a fan of Gummy and I always like Haichu, but this Haichu Premium, is the bomb, guys. This one is non-stop one. You whack one non-stop. And I realize in Singapore you cannot find it except Don Donkey. Yeah, but it's a nice one. Nice one. Love it. I shouldn't really think I cannot talk. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I need something to munch. Okay, plot number 5 is Tanjung Ru Close. This is the interesting one because last year, alright, this year, beginning of this year, the plot of land was acquired. It's a bit smaller. It's the one closer to Dunman High. This is the one closer to the expressway, which also means that it has a much better view than the previous plot. So if I have to compare the two plots, I prefer this more because of the view, and the land is slightly a little bit bigger. They are both not exactly very close to the MRT, but who really cares? People here are more obsessed about the lifestyle. This is not exactly the Tanjung Ru, but this is more like a port road. Right, so I want to talk a little bit about this because when people say, is this the Tanjung Ru? No, the real Tanjung Ru is in the Coastal Road, Pebble Bay, and I believe that two plot of lands there at Tanjung Ru, which is the in between Coastal Road and Pebble Bay, it's been sitting there for quite some time already. I've been guessing that one will go for the longest time, but I still haven't go yet, guys. But that one, if that one comes out, I can tell you the demand will be crazy. But anyway, back to this one. This one is better because this is right opposite. I think it's not a golf course, because the golf course is close to where the Sanctuary Green and Water Place is. That's where I believe the Long Island will start its project first, which is starting from, as I mentioned in my previous other video, it will start from the golf course all the way down, but many years. So, but I believe in the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, the sea view here should be guaranteed. Anyway, fun fact last time for the golf course, I know a lot of people have been predicting for the longest time that it could be Disneyland. But yeah, but that was like super long over there. But no, I think government is not going to leave this kind of prime land for Disneyland. Who knows, maybe there might be Disneyland. Okay, so in front here, this is a very good plot of land. Of course, there's no schools here, but as I mentioned, here it's really more about lifestyle. On a certain level, you're going to have an unblocked sea facing, but that comes with noise also. But this one, I easily give it at least a 7.5 out of 10. For the pricing, I believe this will be marginally higher than the previous one because of the potential view. So this one is like maybe 1450, potentially hitting 1500 PSF PPR. I won't be surprised. Okay, but this is, to me, probably one of two of the plots that I would say are the standout ones. But the thing about these 9 plots of lands are they don't have one clear standout, right? Like every single exercise we have one that say, wow, this one confirm sure white one. But unfortunately for this exercise, we don't have the clear one. This might just be one of the two. I'll share with you guys, like, then you understand what I'm trying to say. Because number 6 is Balaya Close. Now Balaya Close is the one just beside the Greater Southern Waterfront, or rather Keppel. I know Kingsford got the first plot of land just beside this one. Now Kingsford one will have more of a Mount Faber view and maybe a side view of the city, but this one is a massive plot of land at 300, close to 300,000 square feet, 695 units. Now there's also an adjacent plot that's also sea fronting that I think the land tender should be closing soon, so I believe developers will watch out for that first to see what kind of demand there is for that, and then they will adjust for this, because I think this is a more superior plot because the land size is really very huge. And the views here is the one closer to Reflections. Now Reflections also, you know, have 2 tall buildings, but you realize the whole entire Telok Blangah, okay, I won't say Telok Blangah lah, the whole Reflections Caribbean's corner there, it's all low rise except Reflections 2 tower building. I heard, and I might be wrong, but I think I'm right lah. So that one got special approval to build taller buildings, otherwise they're all low rise there. So this plot of land, if you're facing towards a northeast direction, then my god, it has probably one of the best view in this part of Singapore, because in front of you, you are facing Mount Faber, and then the eastern side there, you're facing towards the city. You're high floor enough, you should clear all the condos there. I can tell you guys, the view there is what I'm going to be very excited, personally speaking. But yes, this one, the only thing that is untested here, of course, a lot of people will say, hey, the results here hasn't been too good at Reflections and Caribbean and whatever it is. You just need to understand it's actually only Reflections and Corals, because you know the layouts there are not the most ideal now. But anyway, this is a different topic altogether. I'm planning to do one video in the next few months talking just about that, but like I said, let's leave it for that. This Valaya Close, I would easily give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I think it has potential. The exit is the only question mark, but this kind of big land plot with an unblocked view, if they do it nicely, layouts are proper, I don't see it underperforming. So land cost here should, I believe, should be about 1,400 plus PSF PPR. Okay, next up is Holland Plain, 368,000 square feet. Wow, all this land size here for this exercise, all super big leh. Right, actually can cut out in two but it's 368,000 square feet, guys. It's like 610 units. I have nothing much to say about this area. I think over here is a bit like semi like Lentor, except your MRT is quite far out. But I want to say that the lifestyle here, the privacy, it's very quiet, unblocked landed views, close to MGS. So this is really perfect for those MGS peeps. But all in all, I think nothing much to say about this because this is like the third plot already. Pricing, I expect it to be somewhere around 1,400 plus per square foot consistent. And I rate this 6 out of 10. Yeah, if the land size is smaller, this will be a 5 out of 10. But 6 out of 10, not because there's no demand, but it's just one of a few other properties there that's coming up. So there might be a temporary oversupply. Okay, so anyway, number 8 is Jurong East Avenue 1 EC or BC. This is the first EC plot land that is available. I know there's others, but I'm saying it's available in this government land sales after the introduction of the cooling measure, 10 years MOP. But this is the first EC in the west area for like ages really. So yeah, EC, what's there to talk about? It's still, I still believe that there's a lot for us to wait and see to understand how it affects the market. But of course, EC, guys, this Jurong area close to the MRT itself, this one should be a seller. But I feel this is like maybe a 7 out of 10 for a plot of land, and I expect this to be about 750 to 800 PSF PPR. Right, interesting one for a west, but I'm not a westie, so I don't think much to say lah. And then the final plot of land, which is plot number 9, is Town Hall Link. This is a massive plot of land, 400,000 square feet, plot ratio 5.0, estimated units 1,200. This is diagonally across Jayden. You guys know I have a lot of reservations about Jayden. If you don't know why, I have did this video close to about 2 years ago already. If you haven't seen it, please take a look and see it. I share with you guys why I didn't like Jayden, although I feel that the space is good, the location is good. Visit it and you will know why. But this one, commercial space, also very, very big. Everything about this is big. This one's just beside Genting also. And government actually just highlighted that they want to like transform the Jurong Lake District. But guys, the Jurong Lake District started transforming from the day I started work until now. When I was in army, they already talk about transformation. Until now, I'm 22 years old, transforming on the way to now I'm reaching 40 years old, still transforming. So I do not know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But that's why I don't like transformation. Transformation takes very long. Ultimately, when you buy a property, just ask yourself, in the immediate future, even you have transformation, then nobody wants to buy to stay in the neighborhood. Like for example, Paya Lebar. It's a bit crowded and rowdy, then nobody wants to buy for own use. So you talk about 1,001 transformation, the price don't go up also like that, man. So yeah lah, transformation, Jurong, who knows, maybe it's really hitting the tail end already. But yeah, this is something I believe is the one of the other two that is our top 2 picks alongside Tanjung Rhu Close, because this is massive lah. And for Westies, I give this 8 out of 10. For PSF PPR, given Jayden sold theirs 3 years ago at 2,300, I think 200 PSF all the way to like 2,425. I expect this to be easily 1,000, 2,300 PSF PPR. Yeah, but I think there's also quite a fair bit of construction cost involved for this, so maybe 1,200 PSF PPR. I don't know. Right. So yeah, that is the 9 plot of lands under the confirmed list. FYI, for those of you guys who are not clear on this, like what's confirmed list, what's reserved list. Confirmed list is confirmed, they'll be put out there for land tender. Then the reserve list is if the developer commits a certain amount, a basic amount that government feels is good enough, then they'll bring the land for tender lah. Anyway, So I just want to talk briefly. I know I'm running a little bit too long again. I want to talk briefly about it. Number one, because there's some gems in the reserve list, okay? I'm just going to speed past this. So number one, Cross Street. Nobody cares about Cross Street area. Mini Circle, Parcel B. I'm not really hyped up about this location, but anyway, I just want to say this one thing. Although I'm not so hyped up about this location, I believe that because this area is car-like zone, which is Brunswick Way and Hudson Place also, the rule being set is very clear. If you want to be a car-like zone, you must be like 7 minutes, I think, walking distance to an MRT. So this area is not, at the moment, not 7 minutes walking distance to the MRT. It's like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So for thought, that might change, okay? Which means something might come up there. There might be an announcement of an upcoming MRT, but who knows? Parcel, Media Circle, plot, whatever it is, and Parcel B. And then you have Morrison Lane, that's along Kim Yam Road, which is River Valley. I think River Valley there has quite a fair bit of oversupply, so I don't think any developers will trigger this. Kitchener Link is very, very interesting because Kitchener Link is right opposite City Square. It's a small plot of land that used to house the Coastline Residences show flat. So it's very convenient. Land size is a bit on the smaller side, but I believe there's a small chance this will be triggered because this is very, very convenient and it's a very, very palatable entry level for developers. Okay, next up, Serangoon North View. This is the one beside Gardens Residences. Same thing, because over there in recent times you have a lot of launches in Chuan Park, this upcoming to the Chuan area, which is the one developers actually bid for the two lands they want to combine together. So I don't think this will be activated because land size is also a little bit on the smaller side. It's not close to the MRT. Yeah, I don't think it will be triggered. But the one that I believe will be shifted into confirm list next year or whatever it is, the upcoming few exercises, is this Chuang Grove, because this Chuang Grove is 340,000 square feet. This is like literally the two Chuang Grove plots are combined together, and this is in one plot. So yeah, I believe this one has very, very strong potential. If this goes for sale, this will probably be the top pick. And yeah, this one I believe very likely no developer trigger it because this will shift to confirm list pretty soon. Which brings us to the last plot land, which is the Plymouth Avenue, Dungan Road. This is the Raffles Town Club. Very, very interesting. 122,000 square feet prime land. Will a developer trigger? I don't think so, because I believe this one also will move to confirm list. It's right opposite SCGS and right opposite the MRT. Fantastic location. You drive also very easy to go to Orchard, very easy to go to the expressway. So I think this one, as I mentioned, will move to confirm list. And I also want to talk a little bit about one of the white sites. Nobody cares about the Marina Gardens Crescent, but there's one white site in Woodlands Avenue 2, and that's the plot of land that sits just beside Causeway Point. And that's the land that we all always love because that's where all the carnivals, all the night markets, and so on and so forth. So for those of you guys who are staying in the Woodlands area, unfortunately that's a part of Woodlands that is gonna go. I know it can be quite sad, even though I don't stay in Woodlands there, but I've been there quite often. I'm sorry guys, it's gonna go. And if it goes, it's gonna be a fantastic plot of land, fortunately. So there you have it. We have our second half of 2026 government land sales, total 9 plots of lands. I think the two that stands out for me is number one, the Town Hall one in the west area, where it's going through transformation again, or rather still transforming. Number two is the Tanjung Rhu Close plot, which likely will have an unblocked sea view in the near future. The rest are all very like mid plot, and then of course some of them are very, very huge land size. Balaya Close one is very big. The one at Holland Plain is also equally as big. So those are something to really watch out for. But like I said, the top twos are Tanjung Rhu and Town Hall. And of course, we also have our Thomson Reserve. Again, I want to conclude this. I repeat again, for those of you guys who are planning the sale of your house according to Thomson Reserve launch, it's happening in the next 3-4 months. It could be around October plus minus 2 weeks after or before, so please plan out already. Again, shout out if you guys And you know I'm crazy about Thomson Reserve. If you guys are already starting to research and you need a 2 cents worth of opinions about Thomson Reserve, because in the next few videos, I will be talking about the price points for Thomson Reserve surrounding. And also, I will go back home to Singapore because it's holiday over soon for me. In the next 2 days, I will go back to the studio to do a proper Lentor Gardens review, whether is it goodbye or goodbye. Let's wait and see. I'll also probably touch a bit of Dungan House, but that's about it because it's very likely. Oh yeah, don't forget Lucerne Grand, and then it's all the way to Thomson Reserve as I mentioned. But yep, it's still halfway through the holiday season. If you guys are traveling, please be extremely safe. The weather is getting much hotter than ever. In Tokyo here, it's somehow very cold. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Please stay safe. And I will see you guys back in the studio because I'm signing out here from Japan. See you guys. Ciao. Bye.